Hey, I thought I'd go over some good skill builds for the majority of the characters. Now, there's an easy way that you can do this. This game is actually set up in a way where you don't really have to play as the respective character to get their passive. So, there's actually a really easy way to do that. So, you pick whoever you want to actually play, or you can just kind of rage quit out.
ゴ
It's
ミ
up to
掃
you.
除なら楽なもんだ。
I've been playing this Blue Ranger guy. I'm actually like almost a week ahead in terms of videos. I have a massive backlog. I'm putting this up ahead of the backlog because I figure people don't want to wait. So this is your normal map for whoever you decided to choose to play. However, if you push X or square, you can choose whoever you want and you can actually access anybody's growth map. So what I did is I actually went through the entire roster and I bought the passive of everybody in the game. I am missing, what's his name, Blackbeard and Shanks, but apparently neither of their passives are that great. So I figured, what's the point in waiting when I could just show you guys how to do this right now. Like for instance, Sabo has this, which gives you more crew points. So instead of actually playing him, what you can do is you can just hit all the prerequisites and then just max it out. Generally, a lot of the passives don't take a lot to max out at all. So I think it took me about 1,000,000 berries to max out pretty much everybody's passive. Like the purple afro guy, for instance, has one where it increases your speed of their stamina regeneration. I don't really intend on ever playing as this character because he creeps me out. I think it's honestly terrifying that they made his head and his body even bigger. But due to how this game's progression system is actually quite nice, I will never have to play as him. I can just grab his passive and just move on. Now what helps is that there's also no passives in the third map. The third map is always just stats, so you generally don't want to touch this map unless you're actually going to play as that respective character. Now there's actually a lot of really nice passives in this game. A lot of them have been nerfed. There's actually a spreadsheet made by Nylan. He is working on, I guess, determining how much stats you actually get or how many multipliers you get from each skill. It's not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and link to it. I don't know when it will be done. Apparently it's a pretty painstaking process to do, since the game does not really tell you anything. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is I will link to it and I'll tell you guys some of the best standout passives. Now, Herculean Strength, according to Nyland's chart, or spreadsheet, is kind of a newbie trap. It's not really worth taking. I think it only does like 15% extra damage. There's a lot of other better damage options you can get for considerably less skill points. So I generally don't take that. Doctor's Wisdom would be nice, but there's a much better version of that, which you can use in conjunction with other passives and pretty much have a consistent method of healing. And once you start getting towards the end of the end game, health is a lot harder to come by and the enemies hit harder, so generally you want to use that one instead. That skill is called Doctor's Tactics. Restores life when using a special move. At level 3, I found I don't have any maxed out characters yet, but it was restoring enough HP just by using R1s to really make health a non-issue as long as you're rotating them in pretty quickly. And you're also using a character that doesn't have really long cooldowns or long recovery times. There's no real cooldowns in this game. It's kind of set up like a fighting game, like you just kind of build meter. I think calling them cooldowns is a little bit inaccurate, but yeah, when your move is on recovery, when the meter is low, you won't be able to heal, so you generally want to use moves that recover fast. Full Force Burst Enhancement, I think, gives you, according to the chart, it gives you a pretty massive boost, and it's only one skill point. Generally, you want to be in burst as much as possible anyway, so that's pretty much a no-brainer. Decreased stamina consumption while airborne is generally good for Sky-type characters. With this and Hidden Resolve, you pretty much have infinite stamina. Like, you're going to have to try really hard to run out. As long as you're canceling all the time, you're pretty much never going to run out. Making you invincible during a special move can be nice, but it depends on how long the animation is. If you're dealing with a short animation, some of the characters have pretty short animations in general, then you may not want it, but for some characters you may want to. Cheat Death is also good. It gives you an attack speed, not attack speed, but attack damage buff proportional to how much damage or life you've lost. So if you use that with Doctor's Tactics, then you can pretty much maintain having low health pretty consistently. Airborne Adept is also good as well, pretty self-explanatory pursuit. Cat Burglar is going to be good for farming towards the end of the game. I'm not at that point yet. I just finished the first set of islands. I'm on the second set now. I can definitely see myself using that later on. Brothers Sake Cups is good for grinding out crew points, especially if you're trying to grind out one of the NPCs. Obviously, you can't put to your party directly. There's a lot less RNG in this than the last game's Endgame, so I'm not sure how necessary this is, but it will help if you find the specific level that has the NPC you're trying to grind for. These iframe runs are actually pretty nice, but you can't just put them on anybody. You have to determine who they're good for using on. Some characters may want them, some characters may not. This one here, Moonwalk, is pretty nice for speed types, because sky types get iframes during their power dash, regardless. But if you're on a speed type or a power type or a tech type, it actually can be quite nice, but the problem is it takes 2 SP. I think one thing they definitely need to improve in this game to make the endgame more interesting, I think the third map should have, like, more SP or something like that. That would open up the builds a lot. Right now, you're still limited by 6 points. Resilience is also quite good because it increases the duration of your full force burst. So when you have that combined with full force burst enhancement, you're going to be doing a lot of damage and you're going to be in it for a long time. You'll also be healing a lot too. There's one that increases how much the special gauge increases. This one here, concentration, you might want to rotate that in too, because that will allow you to heal more often. So let's go ahead and take something off here and put on concentration. Let's do a little quick trial of what I have on right now. So basically, when I'm in full force burst, it will last longer and I'll do more damage. And my special gauges will fill more easily, which means that I can use Doctor's Tactics more often and consistently get more health. I definitely am noticing that health drops tend to get more uncommon as the game goes on, so definitely something you want to use. And then finally, I have Aerial Expert and Hidden Resolve, which will allow me to keep the Blue Ranger guy in stamina. Pretty much never run out of stamina and stay midair as long as possible. Alright, let's go. Pay attention to my stamina bar. I go to full force burst. Double rider kick makes me happy. That is straight up just a common rider, double rider kick. So I'm going to deplete my stamina here, and you'll see how quickly it'll come back when we did again. So even though I'm not immersed right now, I can still pretty much maintain infinite stamina. Okay, so up next, let's take some damage, and you'll be able to see how much I can heal using Captain's Wisdom, or Doctor's Wisdom, whatever it's called. What's it called again? Doctor's Tactics. Smoker's just chilling here, he's not wanting to fight me. They actually attack quite often in this game, they're just not doing it right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and use a special. So I've got about 15% of my health back. I'm not maxed out either, so that's a factor as well. That definitely does make a difference. Especially if you're attacking often, you're kind of doing good crowd control, keeping your combos going, you're going to be able to heal pretty much constantly. Not too useful at the beginning of the end game. Once you start getting towards the end, it will become more useful. One of the problems with power types is that it can be hard to, when you're in burst, it can be hard to actually reach the health item. So it's even better for sky types. You don't have to worry about awkwardly doing a jump charge down, doing a health break where you get to health. There's been many times where I've been living on a thread and I can't get down. It actually drops on the health. Since you never actually counted as being in the ground when you're in burst mode.
はお前がやってくれたんだろ。俺の鈴木の腕を買いたいというのは聞いた。そこまで言うなら力を貸そう。
Here's a run. You can see just how powerful the passives can be once you synergize them properly with whoever you're using. As you saw there, I had basically infinite stamina. The specials were coming back pretty quickly, the meter was regaining quickly, and I was getting health back. So unfortunately, it can take a bit of a grind to do that. You will have to wait until you have the majority of the characters unlocked. However, like I said, you don't even have to play as them. You can just go straight into the growth map and just unlock it that way. Like I have about 1.1 million berries right now, as you can see, and that's just about enough to max out the majority of the passives. So if you have the spare money and you have the characters unlocked, I definitely recommend doing that, because some of the characters in this game leave a lot to be desired. They may not be your preferred playstyle or a combination of the two. So this way you can get their passives, not have to play as them, and then just power up the characters you do like. Anyway, hope this helps you guys approach the end game. As you can see here, I'm pretty close to being at the unlock mission for the second island of the end game, and then from that point I'll have to go to the final one. So once I start getting to New World, you'll definitely want to be using some of those skills that I mentioned, because it will allow you to progress a lot easier. Thanks for watching.